Hello YouTube, Jumpy23 here, and welcome to World 3, Palette Prime. This is where the breaks really come off this LTC, as I unlock the final two pieces to match the New Game Plus turn counts in most cases. In fact, I'll match the New Game Plus turn counts of every single map in Palette Prime, which I'm particularly proud of because they sometimes play on easy to get these turn counts. And of course, because I have less resources still, even if I'm catching up. You can actually tackle the two story missions in Palette Prime in either order. I'm doing the Rescue Bowser quest first, starting with this map, A Bridge to Fear. The reason is simple, this map gives the best, or second best behind Turbocharge, spark in the game, glitter. I haven't talked much about the map, and that's because it's mega easy. I have to defeat 3 magicians, which are pretty weak enemies. One thing worth pointing out is these bounce pads, which are introduced here. They'll be a major element of the maps in Palette Prime. They give you basically free team jumps without counting against the team jump limit. Everyone's team jumps off of them are the same minimum length of 3.75 seconds, but Luigi still gets his bonus movement after landing because Luigi needed more reasons to be the best unit. You can't see that here only because I didn't bother to change his skills from the last map, because this map is very easy. A Bridge to Fear is completed in one turn. Time for a real map, and we'll immediately get to show off the power of glitter. The second story map is Blight at the end of the tunnel, and the mission is to kill 5 depleters. These guys are pretty bulky. We can use Luigi and Edge to take out 3 with Steely Stare, similar to how we did with Wild Claws in Midwinter Gateway. But that still leaves 2 more, and we can't break their positions because this is a story map. That's where glitter comes in with its incredible spark power, Gather Round, to draw enemies within a certain radius next to the user, basically a Mega Screech. Because that's not silly enough, glitter also has the Attack Master passive, so it boosts weapon damage like the Reflector Spark does. Depleters are weak to shock, of course, which is why Luigi used the shock power. Spark. Because Edge had to use her team jump to get that one depleter on the island, she actually can't dash any more depleters without using a move boost. That's fine though, she's done her job. Luigi moves so that only that one depleter is in his line of sight. You can see me checking that with the Tacticam, which is the annoying UI with L3 that I've mentioned in the past. One of Glitter's weird quirks is that enemies only move for a set amount of time, and they can only do legal movement. If they haven't reached the user by then, they stop short. That set amount of time is normally about 2.5 repetitions of this jingle it's playing, although fortunately the Steely Stare cutscene pauses the timer even though the jingle keeps playing. But anyway, that's why I needed to position Luigi to hit that last depleter, because the depleter wouldn't reach Rabbid Mario in time. But now with 1 dash apiece and 2 stacks of Attack Master on Rabbid Mario, he's able to finish off the final 2 depleters in a reliable 1 turn. You won't be seeing reliable for the next couple of maps. The first of which is this boss fight against Bedrock. We're also joined by our final recruitable character, Bowser, and we have 4 deployment slots, like we did last time we got a new character. Bedrock's gimmick is that she's practically immune to attack damage. Actually, sometimes she takes normal damage, but I couldn't figure out how to make it happen consistently. The only way to damage her is to bait her to stand over 4 explosive barrels positioned around the arena. Time to introduce one of the most cringe things about the Sparks of Hope LTC, which is the Spark Energy skill, which gives a 25% chance of not using an action point when you use a Spark. This is unlocked on one character by spending a gold prism, which you earn from defeating giant enemies like the giant Goomba. I unlock it on Luigi first, because when is Luigi ever not deployed? Fortunately, reset rigging Spark Energy here is pretty fast, since I can immediately use Epistar and see if I get the proc or not. Once I do, we're off to the races. Bedrock doesn't quite start in the center of the arena, but the center is where she respawns. As such, I absolutely have to do this one first, using Glitter to bait her over here. Since there's a gap in the floor, I can't push her onto these barrels, but Glitter can just barely reach her from her initial spawn. While I've got some downtime, we can talk about Bowser. Sorry to CJ Coons, who commented on my intro video, but he's not that good. His damage output is pretty low and his mobility is bad. He does have some neat quirks. His Mecha Koopas can set allies or enemies on fire for some extra movement if you're desperate. His Cover Breaker skill can be useful, and his bigger character model can actually help set up team jumps where others wouldn't reach, but you won't see him much. Now, it's time to use Steely Stare with the Gust power to push Bedrock onto the barrels behind her here. This angle actually needs to be fairly precise, but fortunately I can use the pattern on the floor to line it up. There are a handful of things in the way of pushing Bedrock onto these barrels. I need to break the cover in the way and also kill some Goombas. First, I have Mario use a POW to break the cover. Like I mentioned, Bowser's actually got a Cover Breaker skill that makes his weapon attack one-shot cover, but I can't take advantage of it here because there are no targetable enemies in the right spot, so I can't aim his weapon attack where I want. Edge, of course, is responsible for any dash-based duties. So this is why it needed to be Steely Stare, because one shot with Gust wasn't enough to push over the barrels. So you need Steely Stare with at least 2 charges. The third set of barrels has also got cover in the way, and we don't have any more free actions to use a POW, so we're going to enlist someone unexpected to help break the cover, Bedrock. Like the giant Goomba we saw last chapter, she runs right through cover, so if we push her into it with Screech, that problem is solved. Screech doesn't push her far enough to actually be over the barrels though, so I need a splash boost. Now that I think about it, perhaps Aqua Dash on Edge instead of Aqua Nox would have achieved the same effect while saving an action point. I only realized that now, and I'm not going to bother re-recording, but this is something to look into as it might free us up from needing a Spark Energy rig. I'm not too sure how Splash Dash's bounces are determined, though, so I can't promise that this will work. Anyway, it's time for the final set of barrels, which is actually the easiest. There's no cover in the way, and the barrels are nearer to the center, so a single Gust is all we need to finish this fight off. The angle is again surprisingly precise, and unfortunately I can't use the floor pattern to line it up this time. I couldn't do this before breaking the floor on the opposite side, because attacking would have locked Luigi's movement. But with good aim, Bedrock is defeated in one turn. We got our first Dark Mass Energy Crystal, and thanks for watching.